Where you can check it? Which resource? Where is it?
One of them is my Facebook page, Dharma Das, and then there's that. Or the temple Facebook page too.
Dharma Das?
Yes, it's one of the places it's streamed to.
Mm-hmm. I sent you a request for friend.
I have no. You can't just go in
I sent you request for to be friends in Facebook. You should to confirm.
Oh, I don't have a phone with me. Yeah. We can't do anything. I thought
Okay. Without your information, he will not be able to see. You should confirm his offer to friendship.
Okay.
This is the rules of Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Does YouTube work the same way? There's also Dharma Das YouTube. Otherwise, we could do this another time.
I'll send you also request. But it will be the same situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem. Just do class. Jaya Radha Madhavam Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhavam Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Baba Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Baba Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading today from the Srimad-bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 13, text, I think we're going to read three texts, 6, 7, and 8.
Сегодня Шримад-бхагаватам 9 песня, 13 глава, 6
Okay, so we'll chant the Sanskrit for number 6. It's Yusa Sarja Swamdeham Nimir Adhyatma Kovidaham Mitra Varunayor Yajge Urvasham Prakti Tam Mamaha. It's you Sarja Swamdeham Nivir Adhyatma Kovidaha Mitra Varunayor Jage Urvashan Prapti Tamamaha. If you Sarja Swamdeham Nimir Adhyatma Kovidaham Mitra Varunayor Jage Urvashan Prapti Tamamaha. It's Yutsa Sarja Swamdeham Nimir Adhyatma Kovidaham Mitra Varunayor Jage Urvasham Prapti Tamamaha. Yutsa Sarja Swamdeham Nimir Adhyatma Kovidaham Mitra Varunayor Jage Urvasham Prapti Tamamaha. If you Sarja Swamdeham Nimir Adhyatma Kovidaham Mitra Varunayor Jagye Urvashan Prakrita Maha Yatyutsa Sarja Swangdeham Nimir Atyatmako Vidaha Mitra Varunayor Jagye Urvashan Prapitatma Maha. Word for word synonyms. Iti, thus, Utsasarja gave up. Swam, his own. Deham, body. Nimi, Maharaj Nimi. Adhyatmako Vidaha, fully conversant with spiritual knowledge. This is your Adhyatmako Vidaha, fully conversant with spiritual knowledge. Mitra Varunayo, from the semen of Mitra and Varuna, discharged from seeing the beauty of Urvasi. Jagye was born. Urvasham, through Urvasi, a prostitute of the heavenly kingdom. Bhakti Tattva Maha Vashishta, who was known as the great-grandfather. Translation. After saying this, I think I have to go back. I'm going to read a couple of verses this was referring to. Verse 6 was, verse 5 was, okay. So after saying this, the previous verse, which was, for unnecessarily cursing him when he had committed no offense, Maharaj Nimi counter-cursed his spiritual master. Quote, for the sake of getting contributions from the King of Heaven, he said, you have lost your religious intelligence, therefore I pronounce this curse. Your body also will fall. That was the previous class. So now today, he's continuing. Today, after saying this, Maharaj Nimi, who was expert in the science of spiritual knowledge, gave up his body. Vashishta, the great-grandfather, gave up his body also, but through the semen discharged by Mitra and Varuna, when they saw Urvasi, he was born again.
Перевод. С этими словами Махараджа Ними, совершенствуя постигший духовную науку, покинул тело. Прадед Васишка тоже покинул тело, но потом родился из семени Митры Варуны, которые они испустили в его Урваши.
Purport, the Srila Prabhupada. Mitra and Varuna chanced to see Urvasi, the most beautiful prostitute of the heavenly kingdom, and they became lusty.
Однажды Митра и Варуна повстречали Урвашу, прекраснейшую из куртизанок каждого царства, и возжелали.
Because they were great saints, they tried to control their lust, but they could not do so, and thus they discharged semen.
Будучи великими праведниками, они попытались обуздать свое вожделение, но у них ничего не получилось, и они испустили семя.
This semen was kept carefully in a water pot, and Vasishta was born from it.
Из этого семени, которое они бережно сохранили в пучине, впоследствии родился Васишка.
Go to the next verse, next two verses.
Следующий пару стихов.
So we'll read this, verse 7. During the performance, of the yajna, the body relinquished by Maharaja Nimi was preserved in fragrant substances. And at the end of the Satra Yaga, the great saints and brahmanas made the following request to all the demigods assembled there.
Следующий стих. Тело Махараджа Ними забальзамировали, а по завершении сатра яги великие мудрецы Брахманы обратились к пришедшим полубогам с такой просьбой.
There's no purport here, so one more verse. If you are satisfied with the sacrifice, and if you are actually able to do so, kindly bring Maharaj Nimi back to life in this body.
Если вы довольны этим жертвоприношением, и если вам действительно под силу воскресить Махараджа Ними, пожалуйста, оживите его тело.
The demigods said yes to this request by the sages, but Maharaj Nimi said, "Please do not imprison me again in the material body."
Махараджа Ними полугодия согласились выполнить просьбу мудрецов, но Махараджа Ними сказал: прошу вас, не заточайте меня снова материальное тело.
Shilpa's purport.
Комментарий Шилпапа.
The demigods are in a position many times higher than that of human beings.
Полубоги занимают куда более высокое положение, чем люди.
Therefore, all of the great saints and sages were also powerful brahmanas. They requested the demigods to revive Maharaj Nimi's body, which had been preserved in various perfumed balms.
Поэтому великие святые мудрецы, хотя они сами были очень могущественными браманами, попросили полубогов оживить забальзамированное тело Махараджа Ними.
One should not think that the demigods are powerful only in enjoying the senses. They are also powerful in such deeds as bringing life back to a dead body.
Было бы ошибкой думать, что полубоги хорошо умеют лишь наслаждать свои чувства. Могущество полубогов проявляется и в том, что они способны возвратить жизнь умершим.
There are many similar instances in the Vedic literature.
Много есть ведических писаний подобных случаев.
For example, according to the history of Satvitri and Satyavan, Satyavan died and was being taken away by Yamaraj, but on the request of his wife Savitri, Satyavan was revived in the same body.
Это история, например, Савитри и Сатьявана. Сатьяван умер, и его забрал с собой Ямараджа. Однако по просьбе жены Сатьявана, Савитри, Ямараджа вернул жизнь в том же теле.
This is an important fact about the power of the demigods.
Такова одна из важных способностей полубогов.
Okay, so let's change the screen here. Okay, I'll share it. Is he on? Sorry. Om Jnana Smirandasya Gnana Shavakaya Chakshur Militamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay. So, yeah, we have another interesting situation here in the Srimad-bhagavatam.
Следующая ситуация.
A few things that are happening here.
Несколько вещей произошло.
In this particular program, Srila Prabhupada is describing how, uh, the demigods are very powerful, at least compared to human beings.
Здесь вот просто полгода, намного могущественнее сравнить с человеческими существами.
And uh, one thing that demigods, or some of them at least, can do is if someone dies, there's some ability to bring that body, that life back into the body.
Одна из способностей выводит
So this first, Srila Prabhupada is referring to here. There's Savitri and Satyavan.
здесь его поднимается.
So Satyavan was the husband, and Savitri was the wife. And Savitri was very extraordinary, chaste, devoted to her husband.
И жена у него была очень сильно целомудренна по отношению к нему.
So when, for some reason, Yamaraj was taking, her husband had died, and he was being taken by Yamaraj.
По какой-то причине Maharaja какой-то ошибки, Dynasty его забрал.
But she objected. You know, she objected.
Ну, то есть,
Usually somebody is dying, you can't say, hey, bring them back. And you can't die yet.
обычно он говорит, что умирает, давай сюда.
But in this case, Yamaraj took the husband, took the soul, and she somehow or other was so powerful that she was able to actually go to Yamaraj and convince him somehow. I don't remember the exact history now. She was able to convince him that no, you cannot take my husband. You must bring him back.
Ну, то есть Maharaja занимал этого Сатьявана. Савитья была настолько могущественна, что она сама отправилась в Maharaja, и в результате он вернул обратно тело.
And she, so her husband, that's his soul, was actually brought back and again entered his body, and he continued to live.
И Maharaja отправил его обратно в тело, она могла.
There is also an instance where a demigod, Maharaja, I think that's his name, when there was a fight between the demigods and the demons were dying, but Maharaja was able to immediately take their bodies and revive them and bring them back to life.
Когда полуботницы с демоном сражались, то вот это, я вот
Maharaja,
да. Вот этот Maharaja, он делал, что он делал, да, по-моему, убивали демонов, то Maharaja сразу же снова оживлял, он снова возвращал это тело, и демон вскакивал,
and there's also this Narada Muni. He was visiting, who was a person, Chitriketu, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So Maharaja Chitriketu, he had many wives, and he tried with each wife to have a son. So finally, a son was born to one wife. But all the other wives also wanted to have children. And none of them could have children. So all the wives wanted to have, they all wanted to have children. So when she got a son, they became very envious of her. So they became so envious that they poisoned, killed the child. Typical envy attack. If I can't have it, then you're not going to be allowed to either. It's typical envy. So Chitriketu and his wife were very much upset. There was so much endeavor, and then now the son all of a sudden died. But just then, Narada Muni came to visit. And when Narada Muni came, and saw the unhappiness, the lamenting, the son had died, then he spoke. Actually, he said, "Oh, you're so happy, so much lament that your son has died." So he was able to bring the son's soul back into the body. Narada was able to bring him back to life. And the son, I guess, was just new. I'm not sure how old he was at the time. He was a baby. But then he spoke. The little son who had just died, and had just been killed, he came back to life, and he began to speak. So Narada Muni is saying, "Here, your mother and father come back to life. Your mother and father are waiting for you." But when the soul came back to the body, the son, who probably couldn't normally have spoken at that time, but somehow he began to speak. he said, "Oh, I've taken so many births. I've had so many fathers and mothers. Which father and mother is this?"
И этот ребенок, он получает, хотя ну, понятно, что обычный ребенок, который не говорил, чисто с командой, так это так. Но он говорил, что она могла сказать, и он сказал, у меня было множество, ну, особенно людей, таких именно говорил сейчас.
So of course, Teacher Ketu and his wife became they were very much enlightened by this. You're our son, and now you've died, and now you're saying, which parent are you?
И дальше прикрепил с эти слова ребенка, то они власть для просветления, либо они получили откровение, что они будут очень не сказано.
In any case, going to the purport, Srila pointing out how the demigods are they're not just have good facilities for sense gratification. They have many abilities.
Указывает на то, что полуботные не только могут наслаждаться на высоком уровне, но также и другие способности.
When we're reading Bali Maharaj and his army, they went, this is back in chapter 7 or 8, I think. Bali Maharaj with his army, they went and were about ready to take over the heavenly planets. Conquer. Okay, they were about ready to conquer the heavenly planet, and there was the Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods. He said, "It's not the time. Don't bother to fight it because you'll be destroyed." But so he instructed all the demigods, "You'll be destroyed if they come. So better you get out of here, go somewhere else, hide yourself."
Он сказал, что кто будет выиграть поражение, то сейчас лучше оставить и скрыться.
So all the demigods were able to take all kinds of different forms, and so they were there, but they had to take on different forms.
И полумесяц скрыться они все приняли различные формы.
So taking on these different forms is a mystic ability, one of the mystic cities.
И форму это является мистическим совершенством.
A person who has this mystic power, they can take on any form that they want.
И тот, у кого есть такая мистическая способность, что может принять форму.
So sometimes, didn't say very real specifically what every demigod how the form they took. They could give up their present form and take the form of a bird or a tree or so many things, so that they would not be detected by the demons, by the Bali Maharaja and his followers.
Приняли как его абсолютно разные формы, совершенно разные формы, дерева.
So in this way, these many examples of how the demigods are called to do so many things.
Вот много примеров есть полубота, например, ну, много различных есть.
When Raji Fu, after performing austerity for 125 years, standing on his toes, holding his hand in the air, he became very powerful.
How many?
125 years.
Когда он совершал воскресенье, то 125 лет он стоял в неудобной форме, поднял руки вверх.
And because somehow or other he stood in that position, performing this very difficult. I mean, we can't stand with our toes, hands in the air for probably a few minutes. Our feet will get very tired. But he did it for over 100 years.
То есть более 100 лет он стоял в этой форме, поднял руки вверх, и при этом еще он стоял на носочках ногах. Вот. И это тяжело. Несколько минут просто поднял руки вверх.
And just standing in one place, not moving for that long time, the ants and insects start eating his body.
И поскольку стоял принял организм, который насекомые враги, они
So because they ate his body so much that I mean, an ordinary person would die. Even his bones were exposed.
то есть, ну, они съели остались эти кости.
But he was able somehow or other to keep alive, keep the soul within the area of his bones, even though his body was completely destroyed.
И так или иначе, все равно продолжал, скажем так, существовать в костях, хотя все его тело было
So Lord Brahma finally came to stop the austerity because he was causing a lot of disturbance.
И в конечном итоге Господь Брахма отправился на какой-то она причиняла ему беспокойство богам.
So Lord Brahma just took some water, his water commando, it's called, sprinkled it on him, and his body came back completely to nice, young, perfect body.
И когда Брахма попрыгал на свою команду воду на воздух, на этих костях мгновенно пошло тело, и стало очень красиво.
So there are a few examples of the specific powers that the demigods can have.
То есть вот несколько примеров, несколько примеров того, как переводный вернуть жизнь тело.
On Siddha, they can fly without any vehicles.
На всех колодах летают корабля.
So we can so one should not they demigods have these kind of abilities, so one should not definitely one should not be criticizing demigods. We should a person should not criticize the demigods. They're all devoted to the Lord. He said we should not criticize the demigods.
Yes, there's no reason to criticize demigods, because demigods are more powerful than people.
Yes.
But where there's reason to criticize them?
There's no reason we should.
No
There's no reason we should, because they are powerful. One should not criticize the demigods because they are more powerful than human beings.
Ну, я не понимаю. Очень перевод. Никто не должен критиковать никого.
So Prabhupada is pointing out here that so Prabhupada is saying in the purport that the demigods are not just have good facility for material enjoyment in the heavenly planets, but they also have many abilities. They've been given many different kinds of abilities, like which I'm describing.
Ну, то есть, что Прабхупада описывает, что огромное количество способностей разных.
And of course they have those abilities because of their past pious activities. They've been elevated to the higher planets.
Они способности, которые благодаря своим благочестивым поступкам, которые они совершали, и были посвящены на разных планетах.
So, anyway, as far as the bookwork goes, there's a couple of points. Maybe I'll stop speaking here. Is a questions, comments.
You mentioned the story of Savitri Satyavan and Maharaja that story mistake by mistake with the soul to himself.
Subha didn't mention here that it was a mistake, but somehow they did take the soul.
Okay.
Maybe it's time for him to die, and it was just taking it.
Okay. He says, if you will take this situation that the Maharaja Dynasty took the soul with himself. So probably there is a situation when the same mistake in another way. For example, when sinner instead of go to hell goes to heaven.
Who? I understand. Instead of someone going to hell, they go to heaven.
If we look at the situation that Maharaja mistake with Satyavan, it means that if the mistake, if he took the soul by mistake, he mistake.
Yeah.
And it means that mistake can be in opposite. For example, when a sinner instead of going to the hell goes to the paradise by mistake. Are there such situations?
I'm not aware. I'm not aware.
Но что там написано, что попали не так, когда Марат открылся, вот, может, какое время.
I mean, Yamaraj, he's specifically empowered to know religious principles, because he, based on knowing has to know the religious principles very well. Otherwise, how can he be judging people and sending you to heaven, you to hell? So normally, he doesn't make any mistakes.
Ну, мне Марат сам по себе, поскольку он присуждает наказание грешников, то его познание принципов религии они совершенны. И обычно он в этих позициях что-то не совершает.
But occasionally, well, very rare, but maybe he was in prison for, Maharaja is a devotee, a great devotee of the Lord, actually. So he's sometimes maybe engaged in some particular situation which will help as ordinary human beings, we can learn some lessons from it, which is, I think in this particular case of this lady and her husband, she was showing the she was so chaste, so devoted to her husband, that she became so powerful that she could actually talk to Yamaraj and ask, you bring my husband back.
То есть, ну, вот, сказали, ну, возможно, когда он как бы создает ситуации для того, чтобы кого-то другого если подать в какой-то ситуации, то забрал, а жена отправилась к нему и потребовала.
There's also an example of Yamaraj. There was a, what was his name? Mandaka Muni, I think. Mandaka Muni. So Mandaka Muni was the same person, no fault. But one time, some thieves were running the police, they call them the constable, the king's men. And they were running away. They had stolen something and they were being caught. And they hid in the house, the hut, the Mandaka Muni. They hid there. They didn't even know that they were there.
This thing which is stolen.
No. They were, the thieves were running away, and somehow they hid in the place where he lived. Didn't say that he even knew that they were living, that they were hiding there, but they went there somehow. They were hiding from the police. They were hiding from the police. And the king's soldiers, the king's men, they found the thief. And of course they arrested them. And then they also found Mandaka Muni, because he was there engaged in his meditation. He didn't even know what was going on. So they're arrested, and they're all three of them were to be killed. So the king's representative, or the king himself, maybe he was about ready to with a lance, like a spear. He's going to kill each one of them. Yeah. He was going to kill the thieves, and they're about ready to kill Mundaka because they thought that he was a thief. Because the thieves were they found at his house.
То есть они говорили, царь заколол вора, и то есть, хотел добиваться этого.
So, but at the last moment, maybe it wasn't the king that was killing him, some of the king's representative, but the king found out that they're getting ready to kill this saintly person, and he stopped it right just before he was about to be killed.
И, ну, он что там представитель, вот, он просто когда они увидели этого вора, царь видел, что это святой какой-то, остановил его.
But Mundaka so he was not killed, but he was powerful enough that he was able to go directly to Yamaraj and challenge him. Why have you done this? What have I done? That I'm just about ready to be killed. Yeah, he went on his own. He went, Yamaraj, you're.
Поскольку его называли убить, он отправился к Maharaja, и предъявил, что это происходит.
And Yamaraj says, you had to go through that difficulty of being arrested, almost killed. Why? Because you were a little child. You took a piece of grass and you killed a ant, poking the ant with the grass. Now that's obviously not a very good reason to go through what he went through. So he cursed Yamaraj that you do not understand religious principles for a little something an innocent child has done. You're about ready to kill him as an adult when he has no other sinful activities in his life. You're acting like this, therefore I curse you to become a Shudra.
И, значит, он понравилось решение Ямараджа. Он сказал, что я когда-то маленьким ребенком, а ты сейчас хотел убить меня, когда я уже взрослый человек и живу без греховной жизни, поэтому я тебя проклинаю, потому что...
But this is all something that has happened right because of higher arrangement.
Это все происходит, более высшее устройство этого.
Because Yamaraj, his job, for the most part, is punishing. It's like being a judge in the court, and he sees probably hundreds, thousands of people every day, and okay, you're go to heaven, you go to hell, you're going to go to this hell. His whole life is that. But of course, Yamaraj is a pure devotee of the Lord. So although he does his service, he wants to spend time hearing and chanting, preaching about Krishna. So this was actually an arrangement because he took birth. This Shudra birth was actually his Vidura. Because before Vidura, sometimes the higher class people in the royal family, sometimes they have relationships with the maid servant who happen to be in there in the palace all the time too.
И иногда получается, что царские слуги, они, ну, скажем так, имеют какое-то дружеское отношение с более высокими классами, поскольку все живут годы, они постоянно пересекаются.
So Dura was born in a royal setting, but his mother was Shudra, so therefore he was considered to be Shudra.
И поскольку царем, а имя его Сидра, не считался.
So this was actually indirectly we talked about this Maharaja making mistakes. This was in a sense a mistake. I'm sure Krishna was telling him, you do like this, and that is his opportunity to spend one lifetime hearing about Krishna, preaching about Krishna, not while somebody else temporarily took his post as Yamaraj.
Таким долго, можно сказать, что косвенно, что он ошибся, что там что-то.
Even these great guys like Guru Brahma, who played a trick on Krishna, stole his cows and coward boys, and Orienta, who was known for his different lusty activities. But they're all in power, so we don't take their mistakes as very, very serious. They're way beyond anything that we can imagine.
Иногда вещи совершают, там капли, Кришна украшивает, либо именно возделением немного слишком. Вот, то есть такие могут быть проявлены, но, как правило, что-то совершает, это краткосрочное действие.
So anyway, there's so many examples of things the demigods can do, and sometimes there's examples of their mistakes, but we know those are mistakes because they are usually something related to something that we're trying to become Krishna conscious. We learn lessons from them.
Ну, избирали ошибки, которые совершать, надо учиться, поскольку они практически учиться.
Does that answer the question? Doesn't it? Yes. Oh, okay. Sounds good. Good. Very good.
Sounds good.
Yes. Sounds good. Okay. So maybe we have to stop now. It's getting a little late. Cooking in the office. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Да.